Welcome to the White Knuckling It podcast with Justin Burke
No, we got out of the life with the pre-roll.
and Mitchell O'Brien.
It was in his butt.
They share their experiences from white knuckling sobriety to becoming successful and living life in recovery.
Yeah, boy.
Welcome back to the White Knuckling Podcast. I'm Justin Burke.
Mitchell O'Brien.
What's up, dude?
Is it raining outside?
It was misting on my way into work.
I don't. It's this sprinkler next door.
Oh, yeah, the sprinkler next door. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know their theory in their sprinkler over there because it goes over the fence and hits all of our windows on the back side of our office.
Except for Corey's, but yeah, it does, and it's worse on ours.
Yeah.
But I bring it up because have you ever heard of people who listen to like the sound of rain for calming?
Yeah, it is very calming.
It is, and it reminded me of that last night while I was here until 4 o'clock in the morning doing paperwork.
You weren't here till 4 o'clock in
It
the
was
morning.
like 9 p.m., but it still felt like 4 o'clock in the morning. So, do you like Godsmack?
Love Godsmack.
Do you?
Yep.
What's your favorite Godsmack song?
Off their first album, Bad Religion.
It's a good one. It's a popular one.
Yep. That's my all-time, hands down. And off their new album, it would be Scars.
I haven't really listened to their new album. I like a lot of their stuff from their first album.
I'm going to go see them.
Really?
Yep. That's why I'm taking off the last weekend when we have 2 events back to back. Because I bought my mom Godsmack tickets for Mother's Day. My mom's, as soon as I discovered Godsmack, she fell in love with them just as much as I did. And it's been a very nostalgic thing throughout my childhood. It's like Godsmack, Disturbed, you know.
That's an interesting family dynamic. But I was going to say one of my favorite Godsmack songs is Serenity.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's talking about how I need serenity, and it always sounded to me like a man searching for it. Like he wants it. He doesn't have it. He's looking for it. It's something he needs.
Yeah.
So I figured we'd talk today a little bit about serenity because that's a big word in the recovery community.
Yeah.
And kind of some of the things, because you and I have both been in recovery, you know, me over 3.5 years now, you about 4.5? Over 4.5?
Yep.
So we've had a little bit of time to get some emotional healing under our belts and have gotten a little bit of time to actually find some serenity and find out what's worked for us. And that's kind of helped us walk or get past the point of white knuckling it.
Right.
Because it kind of gets you past the point of that label being a dry drunk.
Yeah.
Because to find serenity, you have to do inner healing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just figured we could talk about it just a little bit. And even if it's, you know, not a long conversation, it'll be good. So my recovery journey was white knuckling it for a while. You know, I was on Vivitrol shots in my MAT program. I had an amazing therapist, which helped a lot. But in my personal life, it was still like I was a slave to the stigma.
Right.
So I didn't live it out loud and, you know, live my recovery life out loud. I kept it a secret because I felt like I had to. And then, so I didn't find much serenity back then. It was a lot of just trying not to feel ashamed, you know?
Okay.
Like, I don't even know how to really explain it. But I think it was last year, really, where I'd gotten a little bit healthier physically, emotionally, and I started to really dig into, and in my head I put, how do I be happy, you know? But it was trying to find a calm peace or serenity is kind of how I equate it. So I started to do things to see what really brought that to my life. And I found some stuff that I've kind of pulled into this year, this summer, is I've always, my entire life, I like going to the beach. And sometimes I just don't feel like swimming. So what are you going to do at the beach? Go rock hunting. It's like you find yourself a little gift. That brings me serenity. And then it's going to be hard for me to explain the difference between seclusion and isolation, because a lot of people use them as synonyms. Mm-hmm. But I feel like isolation, I label what I did while the end of my drinking time was isolation. I would, if I wasn't working, I would get my fix and find a place to be alone so I could just drown out, you know, the sound of the anti-serenity that was going on in my head. And then
the lamps changed color in our office.
I turned it that way. It's supposed to make it look like a cloudy day, or not like a partly cloudy day, where, you know, you're outside and it's like it's dimmer and then it's brighter and it's dimmer and it's brighter.
That's weird, because I thought I've been sitting in here literally thinking I've been tripping out the whole time.
I did wonder when I turned that on if you would notice.
Sorry for that little rabbit hole.
No, that's cool because it feeds into it, because it's supposed to be calming. It's like a calming experience. It's just like when I brought up the rain sounds. Is it supposed to make you feel like you're in like nature? And since we have a forest in our office, I figured it would be perfect. I can turn on forest mode, but it goes back from like white and green, and it's like doesn't really make you think of the forest. So, but there's so many modes on these things. Anyways, I don't even know where I was, but
Explaining isolation and seclusion.
There you go. I would isolate so I could get my fix and turn off my mind, basically. In recovery, connecting with my higher power was a big deal for me. You mentioned before we started recording that I have a deep spiritual life.
Yep.
That really fed my recovery more than anything. So in these 3.5 years that I've been, you know, in recovery and sober, I will still seclude myself. And that's why I call this seclusion. Because am I alone? Yes. But am I being destructive? No. I use that time for meditation and prayer, reading one of my million books that I've bought that I haven't read yet, or time in my Bible, stuff like that. So it's not like being alone. It is being alone because I don't have anybody else, and I don't want that to sound negative, but nobody else is inserting their opinions or problems, which essentially that happens a lot. You talk to other people and they start talking about the stuff they got going on in their life. It's not always positive.
Right.
I need a break from that sometimes so I can be there with myself and my higher power. And instead of being destructive and just packing my negative feelings up and just crumpling them up and putting them in the back of my mind and having them build up, it's like releasing any of that because I'm not alone. It doesn't feel like it, you know?
Right.
So I think those two things have been really beneficial to me and have brought me serenity in my life. Doing things outdoors. Love the beach, like rock hunting. It's just fun. Is there much of a purpose to it? Not really. But I think that's what makes it fun for me. That and it's great exercise.
Yeah, because you walk a lot. But it's not a consistent exercise, you know. It's,
Well, you got to be like, you're bent down and up and down and up, and you're walking on the sand up and down the beach, and then you get 40 pounds of rocks that you think are cool, and then you have to haul them back to your car. I actually came up with this plan.
What?
Someday I'm going to have a sled dog team, but instead of a sled, we're going to have a wagon with off-road wheels, and I'm going to have a pickup truck so I can put all the rocks that we get in it, and a horse trailer that's got those like fans on them.
okay.
And in the side of the inside, I'm going to have like water and food dishes, and we'll take the dogs to the beach, and then we can haul off all our rocks without having to. I say our because I'm going to have a wife someday.
Okay.
It's going to be a joint. It's going to be a joint plan. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be great.
I can only imagine all the instead of like your mom hoarding things from all you kids' childhood in her basement and whatever else. It's going to be rocks with Mitchell in his basement of his house. 5-gallon buckets just stacked up everywhere. Labeled, well, they came from this beach, this type of rock. And yeah.
I have started labeling them right now, but when I get my own place that has a little bit of like at least a yard, like I don't know if I'm ever going to have tons of land. That'd be great. I should start manifesting that, but it'd be great. But I'm going to have yard space, but it's going to be all wildflowers with like beehives over there. I don't even know how to beekeep, but I'm going to learn. I know you can make like honey and candles and lotions and shit, but I don't know. I just think it'd be cool. Have some bees, have the flowers for them, and then like have either like rock gardens, because I've started a little bit where I live now, but I don't have like free roam to do whatever I want in the yard. So like rock gardens, like over here, there'll be a bunch of rocks, and over here. So the favorites will be in the house, sure. But, and also at my wedding, that's totally going to happen someday. The centerpieces are going to be glass jars, like mason jars, with those little LED wire lights in them.
Okay.
But then rocks from the beach inside it. It's going to be like, because I made they call them firefly jars.
Yeah.
And it's just you put the wired LED lights in there, and,
Yep.
and that's it. But then I added the plan, like you're going to put those in there, but then within all the rocks, that's going to be the centerpieces. I decided.
You decided?
Yeah, my future wife, can do whatever she wants with the wedding, but those are the centerpieces for the.
Are you going to have like baby oil in them?
I don't know how that works with the LED lights.
Well,
if it doesn't short them out, like I'll have to try.
Like my cousin, when she got married last summer, and she had Orbeez with fairy lights inside the jars. So the Orbeez lit up. And Orbeez are wet, moisturized, but they're not like sopping wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to do some experimenting. But thinking
kinda
about the
cool.
future like that brings me serenity too, because it's positive stuff that I want to happen in the future. And I'd like to think about that. And I was talking with somebody, I can't even remember, it was within the last couple months. They're like, I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to get disappointed. And I'm like, don't like that. I don't like that. Like, I get it. I get where you're coming from, but that's not a negative space that I can live in, you know?
Yeah. See, my problem is with my life, even through active addiction to early recovery, is I've always been extremely codependent on a partner. And I finally, over the past like few months, I've really noticed that I've taken more of an independent role in my life where I don't really care and I'm not going to put up with someone else's BS. Because now I'm perfectly fine being alone, where I've never felt that before in my life. And I don't know where it came from all of a sudden, but it's who I am. Like, I have my own place now.
Yeah.
I have my daughter full time, which is something I wanted for a long time to have her. And it's just I don't have to worry about someone else's stress and their drama.
Well,
And I don't ever want to have to worry about that stuff ever again. I've been married twice. Neither one has really worked out. And I'm just, this is who I am today. I don't see acceptance from anybody else anymore. I don't think, actually, I know probably for a fact I'll never get remarried again. Never. I don't care who she is. Nope, ain't happening.
makes me sad, Justin.
Man, it's just.
You deserve a loving wife someday.
I don't want a loving wife.
You deserve a loving husband if that's what you're into.
I don't deserve a loving husband either. I'm not into that like you are, Mitch. I don't go chasing rainbows to find the pot of gold afterwards.
I'm Irish.
I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but like Mitch just said, he is Irish, so it fits in with his thing. You know, I made a Facebook post a while back and said it showed a rainbow in it, and no one got the subliminal message that you were Irish. And you Irishmen love your little rainbows and your pot of gold.
That's not what happened. You're making that shit up. Anyways, no. What you were just talking about is why I stayed single, mostly single for the last 2-ish years. Well, year. It was a year. I don't know where I'm getting 2 years from. And I got out of the relationship I was in when I got into recovery, which didn't end well. And I immediately went, okay, well, now I got to find the next one. And something just clicked in my head, like, no, you don't. And you need to get healthier emotionally. You need to become a safe place for other people, and you need to learn how to live your life and be happy on your own. And then it kind of showed me throughout just reading things about it, hearing things about it, and in my own experience is codependency has such a negative connotation. I don't feel like it's completely a bad thing, but it's done in an unhealthy way 99% of the time. I think that what I really want is eventually a codependent marriage, but I want it with somebody, and I want myself and this other person to not be codependent people, to be healthy people who are happy with themselves, to then come together and then be dependent on each other.
Right.
Because I feel like that's like the cheat code. It's hard to find, and it's not a popular view, and I understand that because so many people see codependency just as the negative side, and it is. It has a very big negative side, but I think it done in a healthy way.
But in all fairness, though, in our society of the human race, we're raised to be very codependent from birth.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, especially parents, they try to keep that codependency going all the way into adulthood. You know, like we don't ever have that sense of independence. You know, a lot of parents in today's society will just hand their kids whatever they want. You know, like they don't have to work to gain anything. They're just handed everything. And that's unfair because it's not teaching them that when you want things later in life that you have to work very hard to get them. You know, so it's just a big snowball effect. And I said that to my therapist when I went through treatment. I'm like, how can you tell me I'm extremely codependent when my whole life I was raised to be codependent, you know? Whether if it's with your siblings, your parents, your grandparents, you know, a whole family niche is being codependent on each other.
I think Jordan Peterson talked about this where the dependency on your parent is really how young life is supposed to be, and that's why mothers are so important, especially in your younger time of your life. And then fathers are more important. Like they're there to protect you and provide. But then in the later part of your adolescence, they're there to teach you to be more dependent. That's how the program is supposed to work. Is they're the ones that teach you how to do the life skills. They're the ones who help safely guide you through putting yourself out there and being independent more. And it's not really done that way most times. That didn't happen for me. And I don't want to offend you, but I know it didn't happen for you. And most men that I know didn't have that kind of relationship with their dads. And it's something that's created this society that's like what you just said.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a father relationship like that. But in turn, though, my mom made sure that she taught me how to be independent, though. She went through the whole thing. Well, you're 14 now, like we discussed on the last podcast. Here's your job.
Mm-hmm.
I have a job for you, and you will work this job, and you will work to earn money. But that was like throughout my whole childhood, though, because I was talking to her last night, and my daughter was in the car. We're going through things like doing chores around the house and stuff. I'm like, yeah, every summer I had to mow the whole yard, rake the leaves. My brother had asthma. He developed for a short span of his life. The pollen really got to him, and he used to have to carry around an inhaler.
Mm-hmm.
But he really held that for a long time. Like, he couldn't do things. I'm like, so I had to do all these things, and to take care of everything. And I was like, my brother, on the other hand, nah. Like, he does have somewhat of work ethic, but not really.
Yeah.
He's out trying to find the easy dollar. And that's probably why he's been incarcerated a good portion of his adult life.
It's possible.
And not to mention the addiction side of things, though, too.
So you heard it here, folks. If you have asthma as a child, Justin believes that you're going to be a criminal.
No, I didn't say you're going to be a criminal. It's just, it was very hard for me because I'm the one that had to push mow the lawn.
Yeah.
We didn't have the rider. I mean, even though we had video games and this and that, no, my mom didn't buy a rider for us. No, she went out, got a push mower. You guys can push mow the yard. It's not that hard work, but she instilled that work ethic in me at a young age. And it started with just doing chores around the house, like yard work, whatever, And my mom always typically worked darn near 2 jobs my whole life because she didn't believe in being on welfare.
Right.
I mean, single mom with 2 boys, yeah, she could have easily probably gotten welfare and just worked a mediocre job. But no, she wanted more things for us. And she knew being on welfare, she could never give us those things.
Right.
So she worked 2 jobs to be able to give us the life that we had.
That just kind of gives you what you need when you're in that life.
Yeah.
The welfare life.
Right.
What do you do personally to give yourself serenity?
I really enjoy just being out in nature. And I really found that a lot this summer. Me and my daughter went to a lot of different places that we've never seen, like in the UP, and I'd still love to go explore the UP even more. And even down here, because our state has a lot of beautiful things in it. And that's where I find serenity, is looking at our own state treasure, national treasures, sites. Like, I really want to go walk the little bridge over the Manistee River, the suspension bridge.
Yeah,
It's just outside of Mesik.
Somebody brought that to my attention recently. Maybe doing that, but have you been to I'm not going to say it right, Akiak Falls?
That's in Munising, right?
No, it's supposed to be the biggest waterfalls in the Lower Peninsula.
No.
And I think I'm holding up my hand. I think it's.
Oh, they're downstate somewhere, right?
I think they're over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Like not Saginaw, Flint, Bay City, but closer
Somewhere
to them
in
than
there.
us.
Yeah.
I think.
I heard about them, and I did want to go see those.
Yeah.
Because I was surprised that there was that many falls down there, because it's really flat down there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of farmland down there. It's when you drive through it, it's a lot of flat farmland.
Right.
You don't start getting hills and stuff until you hit, like, I'm going to say about 46 going north of that.
Yeah. I want to go there, though. I think it would be cool. but I still have to get to Quamanon because I think I've been there, but I'm not. If it was a long time ago.
It was a beautiful trip. Mm-hmm. I suggest you walk all 600 stairs in between both falls. Because going down them isn't bad. It's carrying ourselves back up them. That's a pain in the ass.
Now, was there 300 stairs twice, or is it 600 stairs twice?
No, in between all of the stairs there, it's like 600 stairs. Maybe more.
You do one other thing that you just got back into, something you said you enjoyed when you were younger.
What?
And you got a gift, and then you've started to collect some things since you got that gift.
Oh, a record player.
Yeah.
And albums, yeah.
That brings
Music.
you a lot of joy. And I think,
Yeah.
Joy's a part of Serenity. Mm-hmm. You'll come in here and be like, I got this album.
I haven't bought a new album in a couple weeks. I went to our local record store, and it was nice, but, I mean, I don't know.
They're just not what they used to be.
No, and a lot of people around here, I'm assuming, doesn't collect vinyls like that, even though they were pretty busy.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't because they had a lot of used albums in there and very few newer albums for vinyls. Like they're not in the wave of new vinyls yet.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Older stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the people around here that are collecting are probably trying to get the older stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I would assume.
I don't know.
But
yeah, that brings me joy. Going to concerts. Being around people that love music, and feeling just that culture of music is really great for me.
Yeah.
I've been seeing all kinds of different people, mainly rock. I haven't been to a rap concert. I mean, I did go to not Saginaw. Lansing had a music fest a couple years back, and I went there because they had like one of the guys from 3 6 Mafia there. It's the first time I seen Jelly Roll. Yellow Wolf was there. Yeah. And it was just a really nice time. But, and I've been to one country concert, and that was Nico Moon. He ghostwrites a lot of country music.
did you see Upchurch?
Yeah.
What is he?
He's an independent country rapper.
Yeah.
But he didn't really rap when I went and seen him. He did more of his like rock stuff, like southern rock type music. So that was really good. My mom said it was like going to a Klan rally. Because he referred to everybody as skins. And there's a bunch of rebel flags everywhere.
Oh.
And it's not that he supports slavery by any means. He loves all people of all kinds of races, It's just the fact of, he's not going to conform to one pathway. He's going to be that lone sheep that makes his own path, and that's why he flies the rebel flag, because he wants to be that lone path, and he really respects people that doesn't follow the sheep herd and kind of does their own thing in life and becomes very prosperous in it.
I feel like it's going pretty hard to pick up the rebel flag and to not follow the principles behind it. So, good luck to Mr. Upchurch is what I'm trying to say. Good luck.
You want to know who designed the rebel flag? Because we could get into it.
I don't know if this sounds
Democrats.
Democrats.
Yeah, Democrats controlled the South.
Okay. Okay. I think we need to shut this down. I know where you're getting from, and I agree. But
So, I mean, we really want to talk about who was behind it and now who tries to abolish it.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it's like, how often do you hear about the Holocaust from modern day Germany? How often do they talk about it?
I don't hear anything.
Nope.
I mean, you don't hear them running around saying, well, a bunch of our people got incinerated.
Wasn't there, people, they said. But
Yeah.
this conversation feels really gross.
But it's all right. We're going to stay clear of all political and things like that. But that's why he uses the rebel flag, is to show people that you can be a lone wolf and be kind of a rebel to society and not follow the same path.
Well, to get back on track, you like to go to concerts and be around music and get records and stuff to bring you serenity. I do that too. More the music. I like to listen to my music too loud when life gets a little chaotic, and it calms me down really quickly. Actually, it's like a fire starts and you get a fire extinguisher.
Mm-hmm.
Life gets to get okay. If light, I can't. I just stop being able to speak.
It's all right. You know, one of my favorite artists, and I didn't realize he wrote the song that we're supposed to play this Saturday at the Overdose Awareness thing. It's Eric Clapton.
Really?
I like old Eric Clapton. Like when he started with Cream, and when I was at the record store, I actually found a Cream record, like the best of Cream. And that was his first band he was ever in before he went solo.
Cool.
I think Clapton's a pretty good, talented guitar player.
Yeah.
He fits in the category like with Clapton, Peter Frampton, Eddie Van Halen, you know, all those guys. Hendrix really brought it out to really show them what a guitar could really do.
I know back when I was playing guitar a lot, I was learning Hendrix music. I could tear up the Star Spangled Banner. Up.
But
I
you
can't
know
do it now,
that's just one thing I like. Music has just always been a part of me ever since childhood.
When it brings you serenity, and I think that people that have gotten into recovery, they're going to meetings, they're staying sober. But for me, I got to a point where I started to feel, you could say, stagnant or stuck.
Yeah.
You might have gotten to a point where it's now time to take the next step. You've white knuckled it far enough. You know, it's time to really start to find what brings you joy, what brings you serenity, and start to do those things that you love in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Of course.
And, you know, in cleaning, I'm going to say this very loosely, you know, clinging onto a program forever, you know, is probably not the greatest because you're still very codependent on something.
Well, and I don't think that if you want to go to a program for the rest of your life, I don't think it's a problem. But if that's the one hinge that's holding your recovery into place,
Yeah.
that's dangerous.
Yep.
Because what happens when
You can't make the camp out or the cookout and you start feeling lonely and depressed because you couldn't make it there.
or you move and you can't find a meeting that you vibe with, or you're at a meeting and somebody, you know, comes at you wrong. You know, I talked with somebody recently where they had somebody come up to him and say some things that just weren't true. And it was because the person saying them was in a bad place, but it affected the person that they were saying it to in a really negative way.
Yeah.
You know, and he was able to work through it. But it's like, if you're hinging your sobriety and your recovery on one thing, I don't want anybody to think that I am bashing any kind of recovery group or program.
Not at all.
Because they're great. They really do help people. But if that is the only thing that you use to keep yourself in recovery and sober, that is very dangerous.
Yep.
And you should branch out to look for other things.
Yep. I agree.
I got to go.
All right.
That was a good talk, though.
Yep. Later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the White Knuckling It podcast. For more details on the show and for more episodes, log on to whiteknucklingit.com.